This is one of the scariest ghost stories I've ever heard. This happened in Morocco. There are many different types of ghosts in Moroccan folklore. The gal, which is an evil spirit that possesses humans, usually causing them to go mad or go on a killing spree. The shagat, which is a ghost that makes regular appearances, shaking objects, messing around. And then there's the ghost wife. These are female spirits that enter into a relationship with living men, but not in a friendly way. The man is usually the last person to be seen with his ghostly lover, and it's believed that they either died on their wedding night or shortly after, and these ghost wives will keep trying to lure in unsuspecting men to become their new husband. Now, this story comes from a small village called Meknes that's in the middle of Morocco, and the place itself plays an important role in the myth. It's known as the house of the bride who died. Nobody wants to live there because they fear becoming the next victim, and no one has lived there since 1971, since the body of a young girl named Aisha was found inside, and nobody knows exactly what happened to her. But some people say she's still looking for her lost love, and she'll never stop searching until she finds him. In 1969, Aisha got married to a man named Tarek, and it was supposed to be the wedding of the year. All of the villagers showed up. They drank mint tea, smoked cigarettes, and they danced until sunrise. Then the happy couple went back to their new home, and that's where things took a turn. According to tradition, when a newlywed woman dies, she dies with her eyes open. But in H's case, her eyes were wide open and staring blankly ahead. Some say her mouth was also open in a silent scream, as if she was trying to speak but couldn't, and that was terrifying. The whole village was afraid to enter the house for 2 weeks. Then Aisha's parents came in and they buried her body in the courtyard. They turned the house into a tomb, and everybody just assumed that she would stay there forever. But there were rumors circulating around town. Some people said that Tariq wasn't actually in love with Aisha before the wedding. He was talking to another woman, and that caused Aisha to kill herself out of heartbreak. Others said it was Aisha who broke off the engagement. She realized that Tariq was abusive and manipulative, so she called off the marriage and she was found dead on her wedding night. And others said it was simply the curse of the house. Legends have been happening there since before Aisha was born. It was cursed by a woman who died on her honeymoon, and every woman who moved into that house would meet an early demise. Whatever the reason, the house remained abandoned. For the next 50 years, nobody dared to set foot inside. Nobody, that is, except for one man named Adam. He was from America. He came to the village to teach English, and after hearing all those crazy stories about the house, he decided that it would make a great home for him. It looked beautiful from the outside. It had high walls, colorful tile, and it was big enough for him and his cats. So he bought the property and moved right in. At first, nothing really happened. Adam settled into his new life, hung up some pictures, read some books, watched some TV. But over time, strange occurrences started taking place. Objects would fall off the walls. Candles would burn down completely, even though he didn't light them. And sometimes, while reading in his bedroom, he would feel the sensation of someone else being in the room with him, even though he was all alone. Then one night he woke up and he heard footsteps pacing back and forth in the hallway directly outside his bedroom. The footsteps sounded soft and feminine. At first, Adam thought it was just a dream. He fell back asleep. Then he heard it again, the soft footsteps pacing back and forth. And then he heard the sound of a doorknob slowly turning. Then everything went quiet. Adam got out of bed to investigate, but there was nothing there. There was no signs of forced entry and nothing appeared to be disturbed. He chalked it up to his imagination and went back to bed. But the next morning he found his front door lying on the ground. It was split in half, as if someone had kicked it open with super strength. And Adam knew he wasn't alone in the house anymore. Adam spent the next few days sitting in his yard, smoking cigarettes and drinking mint tea, just watching the door. And eventually he saw her. It was a woman. She looked very beautiful. She was wearing a white dress, long black hair, and she walked barefoot. But what scared Adam the most were her eyes. They were empty, soulless. They didn't seem to have a reflection. And after she walked past him, she disappeared into his house. Adam knew what he had to do. He needed to leave the house immediately. But when he went to grab his car keys, they were gone. And then he heard the sound of bells jingling near his bed. And he looked over and saw a pair of red high heels on the edge of the bed, as if someone just took them off. Adam wanted to run away, but he couldn't. He was trapped inside the house with a ghost. Over the next few months, Adam saw the ghost bride many times, and each time she looked sadder than before. Sometimes she would walk through walls, other times she would stand in his doorway crying, and once he heard her humming in the shower, but he never saw her full body. She was always somehow translucent, like she was fading away. And then one day she started talking to him. She told him her name was Aisha. She told him about her wedding and how happy she was. And then she told him about her tragic death. And that's when Adam realized that Aisha wasn't there to haunt him. She was lonely and she needed a new husband. One evening Aisha approached Adam while he was cooking dinner, and she asked him to marry her. She promised to be a good little girl. She promised to listen to everything he says. She promised to cook delicious food and clean the house, and Adam couldn't refuse her offer. He loved the smell of her rotting flesh. He craved her touch, and he longed to be covered in the filth of the grave. He accepted Aisha's proposal, and from that day on he worshipped her. Adam would get down on his knees and kiss the ground where she walked. He would wash her feet with cold water, and sometimes he would sit in silence, enjoying the feeling of her ghostly fingers intertwined with his. But there was a problem. Aisha couldn't leave the house. She was tethered to it by an invisible cord, and Adam wanted to see the world. So Aisha made a deal with him. She would allow him to leave the house, but only if he brought back a special souvenir, something from beyond the grave. Adam agreed, and that is why one day the villagers found him digging a grave in the middle of the night. He was caught and sent to prison, and when he was released, he went straight back to his house and waited for Aisha to return. When the sun set, he stood in the courtyard, arms outstretched, welcoming her back, and that's when the neighbors saw them together for the first time. They saw Adam holding Aisha's hand, walking around the courtyard, and they watched as the two of them danced together, laughing and smiling, and it was unlike anything the villagers had ever seen. It was truly a beautiful sight, a ghost and her living fiancé waltzing under the moonlight. For a while, Adam and Aisha were inseparable. They attended parties together, they visited family, they explored the nearby villages, holding hands, enjoying the rare moment of peace. But then one day, Aisha stopped showing up. She disappeared without a trace, and Adam searched everywhere for her. But she was gone. Adam was devastated. He was furious. He did everything he could to bring Aisha back, but it didn't work, and after a few weeks, he was found dead in his bed. His eyes were wide open, a smile on his face, and beside him was a single white rose. And at first everyone thought it was just another case of the ghost bride claiming her lost love. But when the police searched the house, they found something else. On the wall of Aisha's old bedroom, they found the same scratch marks that she had made when she was alive, and they spelled out one word: return. And that's when the police knew that Adam was Unat, the first man to fall in love with the ghost bride. He was just the latest victim. And they also knew that Aisha wasn't done hunting. She's still out there looking for her perfect husband. She's still waiting for her true love to come along. But if you're ever in Morocco and you see a house with a rose garden, don't go inside. If you hear footsteps pacing back and forth, don't investigate. If you see a woman in a white dress, don't talk to her. Don't accept her proposal. You might think you can escape the curse, but you can't. And soon you'll be joining Adam in his eternal slumber, smiling with your eyes wide open, never escaping the clutches of the ghost bride. Thank you for watching.